Well, first of all, just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We really appreciate, you guys deciding to come and pour your knowledge for the world to be able to see. And I feel like this is going to be wonderful. And I feel like many people will be able to experience some breakthroughs from what we'll discuss today.
So yes, I mean, I think they already know what's on our channel. I'm gonna jump straight into
Yeah,
it
I was about to say
because
they
people
should know
already
that we the
know.
co-founders.
Yeah. So okay, so we're gonna start off with our first questions about just giving a brief introduction of yourself and who you are, your education background, and we'll go from there. And the
And
order will go. You have an order in mind?
oh no, you go ahead. That's
Okay,
fine.
we're gonna go Devante, Taylor, then Aaliyah.
Okay. Well, greetings everyone. I am Devante Sanders. A brief statement introducing myself. 24-year-old math teacher, my third year. Um, First year I did fourth grade math at Burn Elementary here in Macon, Georgia. And this is my second year here at Southwest High School in Macon. I graduated in fall 21 from the Fort Valley State University with the bachelor's in middle grades education. And I graduated again from Georgia College State University in summer 23 with my master's in curriculum instruction.
Hello, I'm Taylor Smith. I graduated in spring 2019 from Georgia State University. I graduated with an interdisciplinary studies major with the human growth and development track. And so I had concentrations in educational psychology and child growth and development. And from there, I went on to teach in New Jersey. I taught for 4 years, second grade, at a charter school, Uncommon North Star. And then from there, I came back home for a year this year, and I'm teaching special education for elementary at Columbia Elementary. And I'm looking to go to school, back to graduate school for next year.
All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Aaliyah Burgess-Richburg. I am an educator turned stay-at-home mom and CEO of The Organized Creator. Never did I imagine that this is what my life would be. Never saw myself being a stay-at-home mom, never saw myself being a business owner, but here we are. I actually started teaching right at the right moment of the pandemic and started out virtually, and soon realized after being pregnant and having my first child that I wanted to try something else. And so now I'm an educational consultant and parenting coach in my business. And so my education background is I have a Bachelor of Science in Elementary and Special Education and a Master of Science in Youth Development Leadership.
Man, y'all showing out. I just love to hear all these different various backgrounds and everybody leveraging their education to do something different. So I think it's going to be so insightful with what else we'll discuss later on.
So yeah, so what motivated y'all to pursue a career in education and teaching?
Same order, right? Okay. What motivated me to pursue a career in education and teaching? I always loved kids. So that growing up, I was always a student that can help everyone. I want to say what the teacher couldn't, but I can always put it in words that the students related to. And then also too, I like to be an inspiration to show the students that, hey, no matter how you're growing up or whatever, that doesn't define you. You can always make someone out yourself. So I wanted to be that inspiration to showing them that they can actually do it.
Sorry, it took a minute to find that on mute. But for me, same thing. I've always had a passion for working with kids. Originally, back when I first started my undergraduate, I thought I was going to be a pediatric anesthesiologist. But then I just reality set in, and I have to go back to what I was really passionate about, and it has always been working with kids since I was 14. I would volunteer with Girls Inc. and different organizations to work and help with students. And so I did a teaching fellowship my junior year of college. And so I spent the summer in New Jersey working as a teacher for the summer. And so I fell in love with that program and their mission, and they offered me a job to come back as soon as I graduated. And so I came back there, and that's when I knew that I wanted to pursue and continue to pursue education.
All right, so like the rest of the panel, I have always had a love and a passion for children. Growing up, everybody always noticed that kids just kind of gravitated towards me. So a lot of other people be like, you need to be a teacher. I think that's what you need to go and pursue. And so I tried to run away from it for a long time, but finally just let it settle in. I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna go to school for. And so really and truly, it was seeing how much I loved it and seeing that there was not really anything else that worked with kids in the way that I could as a teacher.
Those are beautiful stories. Thank you guys for sharing that. So I guess like the next topic that I want to kind of cover is like education and teaching. I know it's all about community, right? So, depending on what community you're in and, the surroundings, I'm sure it depends a lot on, how you guys go about serving your students. So, like, what are some ways and how do you guys get involved with the community that you guys are within, and how do you use that to impact students?
Um, the main thing, my main starter is the relationships. And in order to build those relationships, you have to meet them where they are, from the students to the parents. I build my relationships with my students in the classroom. However, at the same time, they got to see you outside the classroom. So going to those games, football games, basketball games, anything you could, that's how you're going to get them. At the same time, that's how you're going to reach those parents as well, because you'll see them there and they'll see you not being this is not Mr. Sanders. This is a regular guy. He's just having to teach my child. Like, he's in the community. But at the same time, with that being said, too, with my school, we have different community engagements, but I'm also part of my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha. We also make sure we have different things going on in the community. And so we started different mentoring programs, and I just make sure we keep our students covered. Our school is basically we adopted the school, basically. So my church and my fraternity, we adopted the school. So that's definitely another way we make sure we stay on them. I can see those needs firsthand because they're in my class. I know what my children need. At the same time, the parents I talk to, I know what they need. So I use that to build that network and just be able to pour back in and give them what they need.
So for me, I've always worked in urban communities, and I think that's just where my passion lies, because I've seen the power of children having a mentor or teacher that looks like them. It makes a lot of difference for them to be able to see someone like them succeeding in life. And so with that, I try to find schools or somewhere that has a similar mission that I want to achieve, and then really just building rapport, as Devante mentioned, building that rapport with the families and students. I know in COVID especially, that was important. I was making sure when we were on Zoom sessions, it was hard, but I was making sure daily to call, check in with families, sitting on the phone with parents, teaching them how to teach their child different strategies and things like that. So really making sure that you're connecting with the family, not just when the student is doing something wrong or constantly getting negative feedback, but also try to let them know, hey, this week so-and-so has been doing this well. So also making sure to check in with those positive glows throughout the week as well.
And I'm sorry, but definitely that's definitely one. You got to let them know, not just when they're doing bad. They love to hear the good too. I promise you that definitely helps.
And I was gonna say, just to touch on that, since we're already on that, with one of the school that I had worked with when the pandemic all happened was a virtual school, and we were expected to talk to 100% of our parents every week. And granted, it was a pain having to get in contact with all my parents. Even sometimes I would be still on the phone at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night having conversation, but it made it so much easier. I was able to like, hey, today Zane wasn't feeling too good. Can you check in with him? But it just made the relationship a lot more better. So again, like those relationships is one way. Another way of like, I'm a very research oriented person. So anytime I was interviewing for a school or I knew that I was about to do something new with the school, I'm going deep. I'm looking at your school website. I'm looking at any news about the school. I'm going to their any social media pages. And so that really just helped me to learn about the community. Another way is like going to Eventbrite, because sometimes they do partnerships with places in the community. So I'm going to those events and just really being out and about so that people can see and know who I am and know that I'm a support for them and their kids.
It's the relationship building for me. I'm glad y'all mentioned that, because with us, like we're just now as parents like starting to get into the education system with our daughter. Like she's starting Head Start now, so I think, like you said, relationship building is important. I can't believe she's in Head Start. That's crazy.
It's just crazy going from the fact that schools and all that has always been picked for you. But to be on the outside of like, oh, there's charter schools, there's private schools, there's homeschool, you just get out in this world and go to college and you realize everybody was not raised like you. And then just knowing that, oh, I grew up in a food desert. Oh, I grew up in a, situation where like it wasn't great hospitals and, and stuff like that. So to know that people are in these rural urban areas and need people, that are educated in that specific area to be able to bring that to them is just wonderful.
Yeah, especially like people that look like them, it's so important, that we have people that reflect and have representation throughout education. So I think it's wonderful that you guys pursued that path. So our next question, so what are some tips that you would give for current students who are seeking to become educators? Because I see like you all have different ways of going about pursuing education. So what are some good advice?
The first one would be patience. Whew. Patience, patience, patience. You're gonna need it all day long. However, me, my principal and I, a good bit of us, we went to this conference, and one thing he said, and it stuck all the way, is treat every day like a sitcom. You have to. That's the only way you're gonna get through it. Every day is gonna be something. Teaching to write books, movies, anything about everything that's going on. But if this is something you really want, in order to get through it, you have to treat every day like a sitcom. Every day. You got to find the funny in everything that's going on. You have to. So that would be my main tip. Have patience and treat every day like a sitcom.
So I'm going to start off by saying have patience, because that is extremely important. Also, having a passion, in order to have that patience, you got to actually have the passion for working with children, and doing this is hard work. It is, but it's very rewarding. Also, just to have a balance or create a balance, just think about it early on, because sometimes you're going to have to take things home. You may have to do some grading and work. So trying to think and plan ahead now, some type of work-life balance. And then if you know that you are going to pursue education early on, I will go ahead and make sure you get your certification out of the way as soon as you can upon graduating. So you're not trying to do that and teach as well.
Let's see, I have to say, first, use your voice. God gave you a voice for a reason. So speak out. If there are things that you feel like it's too heavy on you, ask for help. And then the other just being that children are more than their academics. So get to know them outside of just those grades.
That was good. That was really good feedback. I guess like a little piggyback off that question when it comes to like interviewing and applying and figuring out how you want to do with your career. So I know we have Aaliyah, she's an educational consultant, and then two traditional, teachers. So what were some ways you guys got into the career path and network with others?
Okay, you said what were some of the ways it got in the career path?
Right, kind of more like, let's say I was a student, I want to be a teacher. How would I do job interviews? How would I do just becoming a teacher? Some people get into it and they already aren't certified. And like
Mhm.
kind of Taylor touched on, her tip would be get certified before so you're not like on that 3-year
Oh,
probation. You know what I'm saying? Because I also have to highlight that all of y'all are in different states.
Mm-hmm.
Devante, you're in Georgia. Taylor, I know you was in New Jersey, but now you're in St. Louis, and that's not a state, but
Missouri.
I didn't want to say Mississippi, so I wanted to highlight that. So I know that. But and then Aaliyah, you are in South Carolina, so just that in itself, that's 3. I'm gonna say 4, just because Taylor, different states and different requirements. So how do you navigate, because for example, Devante, you went to school in Georgia, you got certified in Georgia.
mhm.
Taylor, on the other hand, she went from going to school in Georgia, hopped to New Jersey, went to Missouri. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of asking, like, how do you navigate that?
Okay. I would say, like Taylor said, I would say go through the traditional route. But honestly, like you said, some people don't know they want to be teachers till later on. And so I know there is an alternative route. There are different ones, but one I know for a fact is the Georgia TAP program. But I've been told from hearing it by many, that the best way would be to just go ahead and go into a master's in education and get your certification versus going through that Georgia TAP program. So that's what I've been told. I don't know. I'm not too knowledgeable of all the alternative routes. I just know I know different teachers who going through different things, and just by speaking through them, I was told that the best way would be just go ahead and get your MAT and your master education, where you would get your master's and you actually get certified all at one time, versus going through the TAP program and they're helping you to get certified.
Yes, so I agree. For me, I didn't go the traditional route, and so that's why I kind of mentioned that I wish I did if I knew, but I'm also grateful just having been able to teach when I wasn't certified. So because I did a fellowship and they hired me on, it was a charter school, and so they have a little more flexibility as far as who they can hire, and since they train and they're kind of really known for training teachers and teaching you how to be a teacher, I was able to learn those skills, not being certified, and then going an alternate route. So in New Jersey, it's a praxis test. So taking a series of praxis tests and then doing like 300 hours. And while you're teaching, since I'm already a teacher, you're getting some of those hours already out of the way. And you can do like a few online classes to complete that program. So there's still options if you want to be a teacher. If you're on the border, not really sure, charter school is a good route. If you find one that actually teaches teachers how to be a teacher, it's definitely good to already get some of those strategies and skills.
So I was going to speak more towards as like career wise. So for me, obviously, it was during pandemic. I didn't really know or think that I was going to get anything, because a lot of the places that I were applying to, I wasn't hearing anything back from them. So I would say, one, make sure that your eggs are not all in one basket. Apply to a lot of places. Also take in consideration some of the things that you want, like travel. Some people don't like a long commute. So look and see how far schools are. For me, being in South Carolina, the particular place I am in, I'm in Greenville. There are like several school districts in here. So there was always an option of where I could go, but just making that like thinking about really and truly, what do you want? What do you want in a school? Do you want it to be like engineering school, charter school? Do you want to like, what do you want to work in? But I would, like I said, make sure that your eggs are not all in one basket. And if you aren't hearing anything from these schools, follow up with them. Usually the people that follow up more than likely are going to get the job because they're like, okay, this person actually wants this.
So what skills have y'all developed that made y'all grow as an educator? Because I know as time go on, you do your first year and you be like, if I knew this, my first year and I'm on my fourth or fifth year now, I probably wouldn't have been that stressed out. And that's just whether from like skill wise or what the parents taught y'all, what administrators, the children, it can go any angle with that.
Okay. I will start with, I believe Taylor said it earlier. My skill that I developed is more so of my time management as far as balancing everything. Because like she said, as you can see, I'm still at the school. But hey, I'm here. I'm always here and always here. So I've learned how to make sure that I balance my time when it comes to me being a teacher and whatnot. So I got to try to work ways in during my lessons and whatnot where I can actually take that time to go ahead and update some things versus constantly just up and walking around. I would say that, and I'll also say I got even better with my classroom management, which is also I feel like the main thing you need. Other than relationships, classroom management. Once you have those two, you have everything. But definitely every chance you get, sharpen that classroom management because without that, I promise you, without the classroom management relationships, there's really you can't do anything with the students.
Yes, definitely. My top would be creating some type of consistent classroom management techniques, something in your classroom that you're going to rely on throughout the year. Also, I've developed in just my ability to be able to work with students and quickly look and see their misconceptions, what they might be struggling with. So that's something that I've grown on, as well as definitely for me, my first year, the work-life balance was a struggle. Like DJ kind of mentioned, I was stressed. I was at school till like 6 every day, coming home still to have to pull out my laptop, make charts, and yes. So eventually, I just kind of got better with organizing my time, using school time to complete more. But you got to be realistic because sometimes at school, when you have that moment, you want to just enjoy that moment. So like, and do nothing, and that's okay. That's okay. But yes, something else will probably come, and I'll come back.
Look, I know that far too well. There were some nights where my fiance would call me at 7 o'clock because he used to work second shift, and he'd be like, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm like, still prepping this lesson." So that time management is something serious. One of the things for me, a skill that developed, and I feel like it's kind of like more personal, but it helps with professional. I was a person that was very shy, wouldn't really talk out to people, like things like this, I did not do. And so I guess if you want to put a word on it, I was introverted. And so I got to this point where I realized that being in this shell was actually keeping me from a lot of things. So I started to grow as a person, like talking to parents, that helped. Seeing that parents weren't going to like jump down my throat every time I talk to them, which is something they make us all feel like in school. But I saw that parents are actually very understanding. And so it just became learning how to talk to other people. And like I said, again, using your voice because closed mouths don't get fed. And you never know what somebody can help you with, what resources they have, or what help they need.
Thank you, you guys. Oh, go ahead, Taylor.
I want to just add with like building relationships with administrators.
Hold on, can y'all hear Taylor? Is it muffled to y'all
Yeah,
too?
it's kind of muffled, your volume.
Oh, I'm sorry. I probably
Okay, it's
I
better
can hear
now.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. I said so. Building stronger relationships with administrators, or at least just showing that you have a high work ethic, so that when there's those times where at charter schools we had a lot of extra work, like reflections, things that was outside of your day-to-day teaching and student relationship building. So at times I had to, let them know that, this is the data, this is what I'm doing in my class. But sometimes, I can get stressed out with all the extra that's not going to impact what we're doing in here. So just finding ways to comfortably be able to express that.
She said building relationships with the admin. Y'all, I'm on my principal's office right now.
And speaking of principals, so I know like as in education, you can advance in whichever way you would like. So we have an entrepreneur, we have you guys, you're teaching now, but where do you guys see your careers going? So are you trying to go into leadership, entrepreneurship? Where do you see yourself going in the future?
And like, how do you navigate that? I mean, it's so many different positions that I feel like we don't talk about in education. If anything, from outside looking in, you got teacher, AP, principal, superintendent, and then it's like y'all know it's people that's over these testing grades and the district, like there's certain careers that kind of don't get highlighted enough within that education scope. So yeah, so where y'all see yourself in the next few years?
So I say for me, it's already in the works, which is why I went and already got my master's, because I knew eventually it was going to happen. However, on my end, I want to say that's not what I wanted. It was more so of growing up, I just saw myself, I always say I want to be successful. So I just thought, okay, I'm gonna be a teacher. Boom. I made it to this point, but being around the people I'm around and they're constantly pointing to me, they let me know, hey, that ain't it. You can definitely do more than that type thing. And so, like I said, my admin, my principal, everyone around me, they're saying, hey, you can do some more, something different, this and the third, and go up. And so it's more so me making sure I see myself doing it, which I know I can. It's just making sure that, hey, okay, I can go and do this next thing. So I already know he already talked to me. I'm moving up a little bit next semester. I mean, not next semester, next school year. And then I know eventually it's going to end up being principal and superintendent. I know deep in my heart, though, I have said this. I forgot to say earlier, I'm from Valdosta, Georgia. I know eventually down the line, I'm going to be superintendent of Valdosta City Schools.
Yes, claim it.
Amen.
Speak into existence.
For me, I'm going to grad school for educational psychology and what is it? I'm sorry. And then from there, I'm gonna go on to school psychology. Sorry. And so for there, I want to do still kind of just figuring out exactly what I want to do. But I know I want to be more behind the scenes, whether it's like curriculum development, testing. So that's why I'm thinking more of the psychology route as far as being able to test as far as IQs and things like that, since that also connects with kind of what I've been doing with special education. And so I've just been meeting a lot of people in different roles. And so I still kind of just been opening up to what I want to do. Like Aaliyah, I might be talking to you because I've been hearing a lot about just education consulting as well. So I'm still open and I can't wait to see what is next. But definitely still be in education, behind the scenes, seeing how we can change this system. Okay.
I think that's fantastic, Taylor, because it's not a lot of people of color that are actually doing evaluations where children have to be evaluated to get into these special education programs. So I am so thrilled to hear that, you are looking into going into those type of ventures. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to get that off my chest real quick.
So for me, like I said, being an entrepreneur was not something that I expected to see myself doing. I for sure knew I was going to be in the classroom for 30 plus years and retire, but that was not the road that I went down. So now I just see myself actually getting on stages, speaking to more people, going into schools and helping them to strengthen what they are doing in the school system, because we all know that the school system, it's designed to do exactly what it was meant to do, but it doesn't work for people like us. It doesn't work for kids that look like us. So I just want to be a person that they can go to and call me in to help strengthen some of the curriculum, help strengthen how they are speaking to children and how they are reaching the community and things of that nature. And so there's lots of things that are currently in the work for me, becoming let's see, I think it'll be a 3-time author now. Just like a lot of other different things that's coming into the works, and that's like, wow, I just never expected to see this in my life.
Yo, oh my goodness, y'all done filled me up today.
I just love what y'all
to
doing.
do.
Like me with a school site background, and then get into this entrepreneurial space, and then just knowing that at once upon a time I was, considering teaching, and even like when I subbed at schools, people were like, "So you want to teach in that shit?" I'd be like, "Y'all don't get me in this." So I can be the best teacher for a day, but every day, that's a special time.
That's a commitment,
right? But I love what y'all doing. Keep doing what y'all doing. We need y'all. We love that y'all in y'all spaces, and just I really want to see everybody, just continue to thrive, and Devante be that superintendent for Valdosta City Schools, and
we know it's gonna happen. It's bound
Taylor
to happen.
get into school psych and let them know what these people not doing with this, psychological evaluation, psychoeducation, and for Aaliyah to just let people know, like just consult, because a lot of people have not been a teacher, and just all these skills and these experiences, like we need them, and the kids need y'all, and the parents need y'all, and I just love what y'all do. And
But yes, thank you all so much. We really appreciate each and every one of you, like, for coming and dropping these gems. Like, we just, oh my gosh, my heart is so full.
I thank y'all for the opportunity to just see somebody like me and allow me to come and do this.
Absolutely. It was our pleasure. And you guys, every tip of wisdom that y'all shared today, blessed, I'm sure it's going to bless so many people, parents, scholars, and so many others, educational professionals around the world. So thank you all so much.
And thank y'all.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. And please feel free to reach out, connect with us on LinkedIn. And also we're sharing this on our YouTube channel. So we want people to connect with you guys too. So we'll definitely be shouting out the Organized Creator. Whoop, whoop. Thank y'all so much. And we hope y'all have a lovely evening and keep on spreading that positivity into the world. Bye, y'all.